Hello and welcome back. In our last module, we discussed the Python comparison operators, and today we are going to be discussing the Python logical operators. Okay, there are three major logical operators in Python. We have the AND operator. The AND returns true if both the operands are true. We have the OR operator, which returns true if either of the operands is true. And we have the NOT operator, which returns true if the operand is false. So the NOT operator just makes the inverse of the operand. Now we are going to look at the truth table for this. So the first is now a truth table is a small table that allows us to list all the possible inputs and to give the results for the logical operators. Okay, so the truth table for AND, you will see that whenever we have even one false input, okay, the output is going to be false. So in order for me to get a true output, both conditions have to be met. Let's take the scenario of a job interview. Okay, so you want to go for a job interview, and in the vacancy you saw that the job, there are two requirements. One is that you must be less than 25. The second is that you must have above 4 years experience. Okay, so you need to be above less than 25 rather, and you must have at least 4 years experience. So if you do not satisfy both requirements, you will not be accepted for that job. Okay, so that's how the AND operator works. Two requirements have to be true for the output to be true. Now for the OR operator, if either of the inputs or the operands is true, the output is going to be true. Continue with our job example. We will say that so this time around we'll say if you are less than 25 or you have 4 years experience, then you will be qualified for that job. So even if I am 30 but I have more than 4 years or 4 years and above experience on that job, I will get the job. Okay, if I don't have up to 4 years experience but I am lower than 25, I will still get the job. Okay, so that's how the OR operator works. Now the NOT operator looks for the inverse. Okay, the inverse. So the inverse of false is true and the inverse of true is false. Now we are going to look at some statements in our VS Code. Alright, so let's quickly go to our VS Code, and we said that let's create a new terminal. Alright, and so we said that if we have two, let's create the Python environment, the interpreted environment. So if you have true and true, okay, it's going to give you true. But if you have true and false, it's going to give you false. Okay, this is likewise if you have true or false, true or false, is going to give you true because one of the conditions has been met. But if I say not false, for example, it's going to return true because it takes the inverse. Okay, now let's see how we can add our comparison operators with our logical operators. So if I say A is equals to, no, let's say A is equals to 4, B is equals to 6, sorry, B is equals to 6, rather, and C B is equals to 6 and C is equals to 7. Let me reassign A again, so A is equals to 4. Okay, now if I say B is less than C and A is less than or equals to B. Now this is going to return true for me because B is 6 and 6 is less than 7 and A is less than A, which is 4, is less than B, which is 6. But if I say something like B greater than C or A is equals to B, now this is going to give me false because neither of the conditions are true. Likewise, if I say not, so if I say not, okay, and I'll say not B, so I'm going to repeat this statement I made here, but I'm going to negate it, or A equals to B, and if I run this, you see it gives me true, okay, because I negated this expression. So that is that about logical statements.